You're on.
This meeting comes to order. All right, first item of business.
Matt's notebook.
There is a quorum.
We don't care.
Okay, Officer Ramos, you want to say something here?
I do, thank you.
Okay.
Sorry for signing in.
Feel free.
First of
Not
all,
on our agenda, but I want you to say whatever you want to say.
well, I appreciate that. I really do. Thank you for your time, all. Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Dan Ramos, I'm the PIC of the sled station. And I'm just excited to be here and be able to present some information for you guys that I think would be beneficial for all of us. First of all, I'd like to recognize any former Marines, happy birthday, and any
that's right.
veterans for tomorrow, happy Veterans Day.
That's right,
So
happy birthday.
I appreciate y'all's service as well.
Happy birthday.
Good morning, Johnny. Can you hear?
Forgot about it.
Good morning, everybody. Where's your volume on this house? This one. I don't want to prep. Make sure you got it all the way up. This is our president. That's all right. Thank you, Johnny. We have Officer Ramos here with the Border Patrol is standing up on the welcoming of the guests and the public comments. So that's where we're at right now. Welcome.
Thank you, thank you. As I was mentioning, let me introduce myself. Mr. Harris is the PIC here at the Clinton Station. Mr. Larry Arthur is the DPAC of the Deputy Patrol Agent in charge here at the Clinton Station. I have Mr. Torres, who's my number 2 there at the Sled Station. So again, thank you for allowing us to come speak to you guys. As we know, border security is our mission. Handling anything from back in the day of doing drug runners or port runners, or back in the day of prohibition, we did all kinds of things, right, to make sure that our nation's secure. And as things evolved, we started getting better technology and such that we advanced. So I'm going to fast forward to where we are today. We have a new fence, which has helped us out tremendously. But that fence in and of itself is not complete. I'm not going to get into the politics of things, but it's not complete. It leaves us kind of at a downfall. And one of the areas, though, that we're trying to help mitigate this whole thing is with something that we've always had, an issue that's never been attacked. It's never been addressed at a long-term sustainment period, which is the Riverside drain is one of the areas that gets back to overfills with overgrowth. Chief Chavez has asked us to come up with an idea of kind of how can we make sure that this continues. Because you do, first of all, let me back up a little bit. Thank you for what you guys do. You come out there and you do take care of it, you clean it, but unfortunately, the seasonal rains come around and it grows back up again, and we're right back where we started. So it's cyclical, right? Every couple of years it overgrows, and then you got Border Patrol come knocking at you guys. Hey, can you help us out? Can you help? And you do. And we understand that time, money is of an issue for you guys. So the chief has asked us if we can come down here and maybe we can work an agreement that if we could obtain some money, maybe obtain some equipment, then maybe we, with your all's help and approval, can help maintain those Riverside drains. We're looking at trying to get some appropriations money to see what we can do to acquire the equipment and or contract staff to maintain those Riverside drains. Of course, before we go and push forward with that, I know there's some science behind the drains, and there's some science behind how all the water flows, and I've educated myself back when I was at Fort Hancock. I realized that the water just flows. I figured it went on its own merry way because that's the way it did it, and God had it going that way. But there's some science and engineering going involved in that whole thing, so I understand that. So before we go in there, we start chopping brush and cleaning all things out. We first of all want to get y'all approval, but then if there's any specific things or recommendations or ideas on how we can make sure that we don't mess up your all's business, that's kind of where we would like to be today. So in a nutshell, basically what I'm offering you, if you guys are willing to consider it and think about it, is the ability for us to try to maintain those Riverside drains, because it helps us out. It provides us access and visibility to the river. It provides us and our agents the ability to have a little bit of situational awareness before we get things out of control. Right now, we don't have the ability to see things past that or further south. We have our equipment, but the fence, while it's been a great help, it's 30 feet now. Before it was 18 feet. Some of my towers only go up 30 feet, so now I've lost some vantage point. I can't see right below the fence line, south of the fence. So that's going to be addressed in the future, but we didn't get that money this time around. So this current administration believes in other things, and we're doing that, and we're doing what we got. So that's my pitch, guys. If you guys are willing to do it, we're willing to see what we can push forward, but the chief wanted to make sure that you guys are in agreement. We're going to go down to Hudspeth County and talk to them. to kind of push forward and to see what we can do to help us out in that, those cement, the river, the laterals along with the riverside drains.
All right.
If I can,
Yeah.
Sure.
that's right. You know, we like to do all the maintenance and operations on our land, the land that we own. So just so you understand, we own 350 miles of canals and about 300 miles of drains. So by the time Mr. Rodriguez back there, that's our maintenance manager, and his people try and make a loop, it takes time and coordination and so on. Plus, you know, we always have breakdowns and so on of equipment. So if you all could fund us getting more equipment, we'd be glad to add to that section and maintain it. But we like to do the work ourselves because we have head gates, we have other installations in there that, you know, if somebody is not familiar with it, could cause some damage to our operations. So we'd be glad, like I told you earlier, if you're all are having an issue and we'd be glad to meet with you. If I'm not around, Mr. Rodriguez is around. I already briefed him also, Agent Ramos, and I mean, cooperation, we'd love to continue cooperating with you all. When the first fence was built, the south side bank of the Riverside Canal was supposed to be maintained by Homeland Security. That's never happened, and Mr. Rodriguez can tell you, we go in there and we try and maintain it, and now that we're concrete lining the canal, we're widening that bank where you all can travel in it, and we can also. So once we concrete line that canal, there's going to be very little vegetation in the canal itself, and then we can concentrate more on the drain for you all. But we'd be glad to, I'll take a look at it, I'll take a drive down there and we can address that and get it cleaned up. But if you all come up with funds, we're always looking for funds, so.
Absolutely, now, in finding the funds, to be honest with you, Mr. Reyes, I don't know if it's gonna be given to you guys, or if it's gonna be us appropriating and maintaining the equipment, because we'll get the equipment, and then we'll get the funding to either hire contractors, or whomever you guys deem knows how to run these things to make sure that we don't mess up the flow. But I think it's gonna be pretty much controlled by Border Patrol side of the house, as far as the equipment and the funding. But I'll definitely, but if that's one of the issues, the stipulation that you'd like for us to address and bring it up to the chief before we go forward, by all means, I'll bring up that concern for her. By the way, I will tell you, on the side of the house, thank you very much, guys. I know we had an issue there in Tyra, where we had some erosion. You guys did a great job fixing that, I appreciate that. And as far as the shotcrete that you guys are putting down the canals, I know it's pretty much through my AOR, and I know you're working your way east towards Clint, so thank you very much. It's really made a big difference on us. IBWC, which I know is different from you all, they're doing the same thing. So we're all working together to get it, and I appreciate it. I really, really do. Anytime that I can do anything to make sure that my agents have a better chance of coming home safe, I'm a win-win for it. So thank you very much for what you guys do for you. I really appreciate it. And I'll express your concerns, and once you guys come with agreement or decide, please, any questions or whatever, feel free to reach out to us and we'll definitely consider them. Thank you.
Well,
Guys, anything else? I'm sorry, real quick.
we appreciate y'all coming too very much.
Thank you.
All of y'all. And
Anything else? Did I miss anything?
feel free at any time outside of these, you get a hold of Chewy when you
Will do.
need to talk, and he can set up something, and y'all can visit, and, okay?
Appreciate it. Thank you all. Thank you very much for your time.
You bet. Anyone else? Okay. Any other guests? All right, next item of business, minutes.
Y'all mind if I step out?
I don't know,
No,
thank
no,
you
not
all.
at all. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you, guys.
seeing you guys.
Thank you.
One correction on the minutes. If you look on page 7 of the minutes, under application 3085, all we did was clear up some typos. It's supposed to read Texas Gas Service Company, a division of One OK, Inc., for a 25-year license to construct. Okay, just a little typo there. Right. After that, any other corrections anybody noticed on the minutes?
Well, you know, I see in here several places where it talks about, we deal with the city on behalf of the Public Service Board.
Okay,
Of course, the Public Service Board is simply a division of the city.
okay,
It's kind of an independent, freestanding political body. And so I wouldn't say that on behalf of, I just say, the city of El Paso, and if you want to say, you can say, and the public service, and its public service board, is what I'd say.
okay. Take that under consideration there. You guys hear that? Okay. Other than that, Jim?
Now, let's see.
And board members, if y'all see anything that didn't ring,
Y'all, looking at item number 17, it says consideration of agenda items for next regular board meeting. I strongly recommend you strike and quit putting that item on the agenda. You've been doing it this year.
Okay.
We've never had it before.
all right. You're
It's
talking
so
on the agenda.
confusing, and the reason it's confusing, board members and only board members can set an item on the agenda. And
Okay.
a board member can do that anytime up to the time you post your agenda for the meeting.
All right. All right. Anything else on the minutes? Correction on the minutes, anybody? Chair will entertain a motion to approve,
So moved. Second.
Subject to those changes.
subject to that, to those changes. All right. Larry made the motion, George seconds. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Johnny's aye. All right, motion passed. Let's go to, let's see, a report by Lisa says none. Okay. Number 5, Mary Cortez. All right, Mary. You get the floor.
Good morning. On our investment report, we do have a CD that will mature at the end of this month. And as I explained to Mr. Ivy, we will have to have those funds transferred to the main checking account.
Because we're gonna need those funds, or the anticipation is we're gonna need to tap into those funds.
Yes, we do. And as we discussed, further along, the year, then if we see funds available in the checking account, then we can go ahead and move those back to an investment.
Okay, so for right now, we're gonna put that in our general fund,
Yes,
when it matures,
matures at the end of the month.
okay? And rates, by the way, have not, they're still pretty low, they're higher than they were, but they're not too good, are they?
No, they're not.
On the rates, Mary, one of the items that I see in the 6-month maturity rate is the one that's February 2022. You have a 0.05% return, which is pretty low. But I noticed that on the general fund, it's actually higher on the general fund. So does it make sense just to keep everything in the general fund and then negotiate up or with them about 1% or something? And it just seems like we're investing in this, but we shouldn't get better rate than in the general fund.
On the general fund, the rate, it also depends on the funds going in and out, and there's an average and everything that's taken into consideration before the rate is assessed on that monthly balance. I still feel that the certificate of deposit is the way to go, or of course our treasury bill. And this was just a 6-month period where it had been at 0.05, and I believe even our checking account was much lower, but up until recently, I believe the last month or 2, it might have gone up.
Okay. So it fluctuates from month to month?
Yes.
Okay, because, all right, so I'm just looking at it from a snapshot, so maybe this is not fair in looking at this, because
Correct.
when you made a decision to do the 0.05, I'm assuming the general fund was much lower in the interest return.
Yes, and on the general fund, the rate fluctuates.
Okay.
On the treasury bill, what are those right now, Mary?
Those have been much lower than the
Much lower
certificate of
than this one.
deposit, correct?
Still like point,
005.0.
Yeah, 025, pretty bad. Yes, sir. Can't hear anything.
It's a waste of time for you to be on the line. What I would like to do when you go into closed session, there's one item there that I would like to discuss with everybody. So if y'all will call me back then, and then maybe I think you're better, because right now, I like to hear you that,
Okay.
I'm able to understand. So I'll just get off the line, and when y'all go into closed session, call me, please.
All right, Johnny, we will do that when we go into closed session. Bye-bye.
All righty.
Whoops,
Nice one.
whoops. All right. Al, I guess if it's off, how do I know? Oh, where's that? In this Al's phone?
Yes.
Ah, okay. Closed session, we're going to call, Johnny.
Okay.
All right, sorry about that, Mary. Go ahead.
Our next report is our balance sheet. Is there any questions?
I got a question here. On the balance sheet, I take, from Jim Spear, we're not a business, so do we advertise the fact that we made a profit, lost a profit? Or how does that work? On the balance sheet, are we at the balance sheet, or maybe I'm getting
No,
it?
yes, we're at the balance sheet.
I'm looking at the last page of the balance sheet, new current profit. We made a profit.
Or loss.
That doesn't make
We made a
sense.
loss.
I'm all about making a profit,
You're
right?
right, you're
But I
right.
remember you saying that a while back, but I don't know.
And this is just the language on writing the report and what the language comes out on that specific report. I can go in there and you either put current income.
I'm just taking advice from my team. I just noticed that right now, so.
Well, we're still gonna show a profit loss. I mean,
Sure.
gain or, I mean,
Right,
you change the
just
name to
semantics.
gain and loss or something like that, but you gain or loss.
The problem with the profit and loss, you've got a general notation in here
Yeah,
that you have to have, because we didn't buy our original property.
correct.
The federal government bought it, acquired it, let's say, and we don't know how they acquired it. Or maybe somebody donated some land to us, we don't know.
We took it from the Indians.
So,
Through Columbus.
right, exactly. I wouldn't use the term profit or loss anywhere, because you can't determine, you know, in ordinary accounting procedures, that you have a profit or a loss. You can show net income or income. I would just show income. I wouldn't even say net.
What does Bixler say? You're an auditor.
Well, they're fine with this because it's part of the GAAP policies and procedures in regards to your financial
But see,
statements.
those don't apply to us,
Yes,
since we're a government
But-
entity.
It's a word on the balance sheet, so if there's another word, if you prefer income, it seemed like a few times ago, Jim, you didn't like the word income, although we had income.
I would,
Which is
we
also-
did have income
But-
You could have income, you could have revenue.
Right, okay.
See, revenue would be more.
We can put a
appropriate.
revenue
I
or
think it's just
loss.
semantics, it's current.
It's just semantics,
It's
it's
just,
all,
it's just correcting that.
because we understand we're a government entity, we understand about the grains and everything that were acquired correctly, like Jim pointed out. And we didn't put a value, and we have an asterisk still on that report to take. So
Well, your note says, if you were to evaluate and appraise, your property would be hundreds of millions of dollars.
Correct.
And, you know, you're a government entity, and you just don't fit into the normal standard
Right,
accounting practices and those.
okay. You can try different words.
I will.
Okay, but I think we all understand. All right. Any more on the balance sheet? because then we got the net revenue, right, Mary?
Yes,
I have a question on 4251. 4251, who are they?
that's the agreement that we have with the past,
With the
with
city.
City of El Paso.
City of El Paso?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
Now, I repeat, it's important that you keep the city straight. It's the city, not the PSP. PSP is just a department like a sanitation department. That's all they are legally, I guarantee you. I've been documents many times, and you're dealing with the city, not with the public service board. You don't deal with the public service board, because it's just a department. It's like the sanitation department, or like your maintenance department here.
Okay.
Okay. And then we have CPA services at 0. We don't charge, charges anything.
account is that, oh, and 60302, that was an account that had been created several years ago when we had acquired, I believe with the changes of software or in regards to our reporting, but we don't use that one. They are actually under account number 60103.
Okay.
Oh, what did we expect?
So I'm just taking that one off.
I can do so. I can go ahead and
Zero means zero.
The wages have gone up, is that correct, in the way I read this, have gone up?
significantly, yes.
Is that through grant work, or is that through work that's?
Yes, we've had overtime and so forth in regards to the grants at the beginning of this year. So that's what that is reflecting.
In the capital purchases, we went up a little bit.
Yes.
Where did we miss it on the budget versus?
Well, it's just an estimate when we estimate on the projects and what we're gonna work on. So we did go over by
Some projects there. It wasn't the equipment that we had allocated, we were okay there.
Yes.
Okay. Anybody else?
We need to remove repair and maintenance, it's zeroed out to on number 61003, no, 6002. See how it's just zeroed out? What is that for?
Well, which account is that?
61002. It's just like that other one, there's nothing in there.
Correct, we usually, we use this one below it, so I'll go ahead and activate that one as well.
Okay. Anything else, gentlemen? That's what I need to read. All right, next, 500 check report.
I think we all saw that.
Yeah.
But that's just a typo error, right?
Yes.
We like Al, I don't think we need to pay him 4 times,
It's like,
same exact amount.
Is that like hint, hint, how many times are we gonna get it?
Maybe that's why he's not here. Spending it.
Okay, what's number 6 about? I mean 7.
Number 7,
Complete herbicide.
that's the new herbicide truck that you all, that we budgeted and you all approved, and that's the skid for it. In fact, the men are leaving this coming Monday to go pick it up. It's finally ready after a year of waiting for the truck and waiting for the equipment, waiting for the chips.
Wow.
It took a whole year for us to finally get approval, right, Pete?
Yes, sir.
This last week, they gave us notice that it's ready to go, so we're gonna go pick it up.
What does it do?
It's a herbicide truck, one of the ones that sprays the vegetation along the canal banks and drains.
Called a skid because,
Yeah, it's a skid that they install in the bed.
oh, it comes in and
Just
out.
go mount.
Oh,
It's
okay.
complete, and they mount it, but what took long was the computer process of it. They were out of, they also suffered from, I guess, China not producing the chips that they needed.
Like we're all suffering.
Yeah.
And how about number 13?
Number 13, Synflow bowl. Okay, those are the bowl pumps for the two new wells that went on the island
Oh, okay.
canal.
Number 11, what are you talking about? What is Al entertaining on top of this?
We get reimbursed.
What is what?
Right, but what is he doing?
He was helping the city, I think.
Yeah, he put the engineering together for all the sewage coming down
Right,
the river and,
so he's doing the efforts besides, or he's assisting the Paso, city of Paso?
that's correct, and it's got an asterisk, because we're gonna get reimbursed for all those fees.
I smell it coming in this morning, still there.
Number 10, Joey, I remember you guys telling me about this one, about the Mesilla Dam.
Uh-huh. That's under the 6A, 6B agreement that was signed many years ago through the Bureau of Reclamation record. And,
Yes.
and that's our percentage of maintenance and upkeep of the Mesilla Dam. They've been doing work for us.
It still works, is it still?
Still working, yeah, but
Yeah.
under the transfer agreement, two districts share the maintenance of the city.
Mhm.
There was some worry about the maintenance on it. It's right there at Stallman, you know.
Yeah. I used to cross it when I was out there.
Yeah. And there's always concern that we have voiced because there's
Heavy
huge,
Trucks.
trucks and so on going over it, going into all that development, and we're afraid that one of these days it's gonna fail and it's gonna.
Just one car fits, right? Or something like that.
Yeah, but you've got propane trucks delivering propane, you've got all kinds of vehicles going across that bridge now.
Right, we tried closing it, Reclamation tried closing it several times. They were trying to put up a heavier gate to get a bigger truck.
So we stay on top of it when those bills come in. EBID does the maintenance, whether it be replacement of a gate or a motor or epoxying the gates or painting the gates or whatever is done to that. They send me an itemized list of what they've done, the work they've done. And then I provide it to Robert and Al so they can go review it also. And then we finally get it approved for payment.
Even though the structure is still owned by Reclamation, they do periodic inspections on the bridge and on the dam itself. So
Yeah, and the Bureau of Reclamation does a yearly inspection of what we're called, and Robert participates, and some of his men go out there along with EBID.
Remember there was talk about doing a major upgrade here a few years ago, but
Yeah,
I guess we're just gonna limp along for a while.
there's, to replace that dam, I think, last estimates that Al had done a rough draft, so way over $10 million.
Oh, yeah, probably over 25.
Yeah, so that's why we
In my
patching
opinion,
and,
and I think it's consistent with Reclamation's reviews, nobody talks about it, that if we get a condition like we had in, what is it, 85, right?
Yeah.
Or 1942, 85, and maybe 95, but those are the three peak flow years the dam will fail.
You think the Mesilla will fit?
Yeah, almost guaranteed, yeah. Or it'll be damaged.
Yeah,
It may be coming off.
like Riverside.
Yeah, like Riverside, it's in that, it's ready to do that.
Trying to think of what
So,
side.
I mean, we went, 42 was 1 million acre feet.
Trying to think what side most of the water on our side.
85 failed Riverside.
it's an important dam for us.
Yeah,
We got a slap for everybody.
yeah, for everybody down below there.
And so it'd be nice to keep the propane trucks off of it.
Yeah. And we've documented, Bert Will knows when he was with the Bureau that we would complain all the time. Bring it up to their attention that we're concerned that one of these days, one of those huge trucks making a delivery is going to collapse, part of it or all of it.
Yeah.
It has been put on the aging infrastructure list for reclamation to try to get some funding to try to do something about it.
The monies they're talking about now, 25 million.
There may be more money coming into that program now, like I said.
Hopefully with our good president that we have now, we will be able to get some.
The problem with it is sequencing and flooding, so, you know, anything of that, it's amazing that we built all those things that we did back to the times. But it's just, you gotta get in there and get out fast, and that's hard to do, for the government especially.
Some winter.
It's gotta be winter, and then you have to do it in a manner that your coffers, you know, with sheet metal, so that you can, if there is a flood, you can route it without destroying. So you build half of it at one time, coffer it off, and build the other half. I mean, I've done projects like that, we all have, they're really expensive, that's why it's so expensive, it's just you end up with 7 days, sometimes 24-hour crews trying to get it done before.
I don't like what they did when they built Elephant Butte Dam, they just shut off half the river and worked across.
I just recently saw some old pictures of that, where they were doing it.
And last year, we did have somebody break into the cinder block room there at Mesilla and did a lot of damage to all the equipment inside and did damage to the outside also.
To what purpose?
Just
Was there anything in there they wanted? Just bad?
Just to be
I was
traviesos.
gonna say, was it?
Yeah, they broke the cinder block.
They've done it, it's happened several times.
Yeah, it's not the
4 or
first
5
time,
times.
but they've done it several times.
They need to go ahead and put quarter-inch steel plate all
There you
around.
go.
Yeah.
Epic.
Plus,
Epic plate.
we're looking at installing some cameras.
It's mainly sledgehammers.
Yeah. But you imagine with the traffic going over there now, it's a lot more than it was even 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah. There's a huge development across.
See, I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
I haven't been up there a long time.
yeah, there's all kinds of homes and trailers and,
Stone still has their little airport, having the landing strip up there too.
yes.
They had the city dump out there, or the county up there for a while.
Yeah, there used to be a dump up there.
Yeah.
You had a lot of traffic.
Yeah.
All right.
What did number 33 and 37, what did Tim Smith do for us?
33, 37, it's a case that's pending.
Oh, it's for personnel?
If you want to know any details, we can discuss it in the
Oh,
closed.
okay.
Well, you can talk about it in closed session.
How about 78 and all those $600 El Paso water, what's that all about?
78, okay, that's, if you look at, to your right, that, the asterisks, that's all that project that we're helping the city of El Paso through the Public Service Board, El Paso Water, with the sewer coming into the river. That's all reimbursable, but that's, we've got men working out there 24 hours a day, because we're using some of our pumps to pump the sewage out of the river into the Riverside Canal. And I was concerned with their safety, because it is on the south side, even though Border Patrol is up and down there, but I was concerned at night. So we hired off-duty sheriff's deputies, and that's, all those bills of $600, those are officers that we have out there working to protect our men and protect our equipment. And
the public.
and the public.
On 72, that water heater's for this house right over here?
Yes.
Okay. Is there still someone, who's living, is there,
Yes. We have an employee and his wife living there that also acts as our security here for all our equipment and buildings and so on.
Sure. What else you got, George?
Just a quick question, I think it would be for Pete. Is this, number 68 and number 105, the hydraulic oil? And the reason I brought that up is because I recently got some, this is like double. And 5-gallon buckets. And mostly, usually it's $39 to $54, and these come out to $99, $95.
And I
Is that a
questioned,
special kind of,
yes, I questioned our head mechanic yesterday about that, and it's that new oil, you know, a lot of these new tractors use a combination oil, hydraulic, and transmission oil. And this is the oil recommended for those John Deere tractors that we're getting. And I know it's a little higher than expected, but he says in order to meet the warranty, right, Pete? We
Right.
have to keep up utilizing that oil.
Yeah, once the warranty expires, then we'll look at a different oil, which will be a lot cheaper. But right now, during the warranty of the machine, that's what they require.
And it's John Deere oil, right? John
Yes.
Deere mark, yeah,
Yeah.
brand. Yeah. I've rented the same thing, Georgia, on my tractor.
well, I wouldn't know, my stuff's so old and junky.
Yeah.
Leaks out so quick.
Yeah, the new tractors have the
Different.
same oil that's used in the transmission operates the hydraulics and all that.
Yeah, it's very good oil, but it's quite expensive. And Joey's right, I have some tractors under 5-year warranty. We're still using that oil till we get to that 5 years. And then it's it. Then we'll do like pigs, don't see who's who. Anybody else? All right, let's see. All right, Mary. Well, we got the credit card to put on that same tab. Any questions there for Mary? Okay, tab C. I mean, fill out your handkerchiefs and watch your eyes a little bit there. But it just, it is what it is. So that's it, and the quarterly report was last month, right? The quarterly findings that we have to do.
Yes,
Okay. Okay,
thank you.
you bet. And Sonia, it looks like, oh, you're gonna give Rose, I see Sonia's name here, Rose, I thought maybe you're gonna turn it over to her again. You're here, go ahead.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We have no tax adjustments. And its next item would be the City of El Paso on behalf of its Public Service Board 2013 through 2021, Lower Valley, and tax report for taxes. So we're approaching the 9th year that we're working with Lower Valley Public Service Board. So on PSB, we collected $53,000. $53,568.27. Lower Valley Water District, $279.41. And just to remind you, Lower Valley still not paying taxes, that was just an oversight. It was $279. Lower Valley Water District dropped the ball. There was some assignments that were not processed in time, so they thought they had to pay off taxes. And as far as tax suits, there was no tax paid for last month.
Wow.
The next report, C, would be the comparison between the 2019 and 2020 tax assessment. The same time, November 2020, we're at 98.4132%. This year, we're at 96.7021%. We've done
Not enough
everything
work.
we can with our attorneys, the same reports, everything we can.
You're at 99.99%.
I was at 98% point.
Okay.
And then D, we're asking for board approval, and this is on the El Paso County Water Improvement District Number 1, 2021 tax assessments and/or charges. This consists of a county service charge, exempt water for allotment, exempt water non-allotment, tax assessment, water delivery charge, allotment, water delivery charge non-allotment. This is total assessment and/or charges total $2,905,503.07.
Okay, and this is the same, that's the same, pretty much the same form that we've done every year?
Yes, sir. We did change the language on the allotment.
Okay,
It's not called water delivery charge. That was just the language.
okay.
But everything is still the same.
Is this based on our last meetings,
Yes, on our catcher.
revenue approval?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes,
So the 25,000 per acre.
I had a question on that form.
Okay,
On, I was gonna ask Maria, on Johnny's signature, Maria, should we just have Art sign for Johnny? Or,
in case anybody's in town,
or should we, because we need that
I
signed?
do have a signature block for all the board members.
Yeah, but Mr. Stubbs is not present.
Yeah, you need this today.
Well, if the board approves it, it can
Wait,
be
well, the
the
board
signature.
can, the
Yes.
board can approve it.
And then we need
get
a signature.
Johnny to
And then
sign.
get it later?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
yeah, that'd be all
Okay.
right. Okay. Wow.
Do we need a
You
motion?
might have set a record there.
And-
Do we need a motion to approve this?
Yes, okay, I will.
I move to approve it.
Other than that, yeah. Do I hear a second? Second. Okay. Mike made the motion, George made the second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, same sign.
And just so the board knows, since we're working on, or Rose and Sonia's department have been working hard on getting these tax statements out. Tomorrow's a holiday, Veterans Day, so instead of taking tomorrow off, I had them move it to Friday, take it off Friday instead of tomorrow. That way they can complete everything they're doing to send those statements out.
Okay.
And so just so the board knows, we will be open tomorrow,
Yes.
but we will close on Friday. And take Veterans Day on Friday,
Great.
or observe.
And I have a little ask. Drew, you know that little piece of paper you said about here's our taxes that I used to keep around in my notebook all the time?
Yes,
Can you update it and give me a new one?
yes, Rose will
Yes,
do
I'll
that.
get you that.
Give me a new copy
Yes,
so
sir.
you can give it to me, so when these guys,
Yes.
I say, well,
And
here's
that-
what we've done.
Yeah, and that's real important
It's important to
for the
me.
board.
I used to carry about,
around, yes.
5 or 6 copies.
Oh, okay, I can make you as many as you want.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Okay?
And before I leave, I just want to say thank you for my staff, starting with Sonia. And I got Carol Parker, I got Claudia Galaviz, I got Carmen Borgas, and then we have an employee, Cindy Gomez.
Okay.
And say thank you so much for my staff, and I don't want to forget, support from Mary, from Lisa, and of course, the head man, Mr. Reyes. Thank you very much.
You bet. Well, Rose, we're very happy you've done a wonderful job.
Thank you.
And Rose just got back from, she's had shoulder
Shoulder surgery.
surgery, and
Oh, my
she's
goodness.
just,
I feel better, yes.
yeah.
Hey, rotator cuff.
Yes, 5 tears and
Ooh.
bone spur.
So it's affecting your,
The
shot
bone.
put, you know, or?
Yes.
I think when she throws that pen at Bobby, she, right, those should just.
I will reach, I will reach.
Okay.
So if I may,
Yes, thank you very much.
can I get your signature? I'll
Okay.
go up. Okay.
Hand it around and we'll sign it. Okay, that follows up with the general manager's report. While we're signing this thing for Rose.
Okay, item A, I'd like to move it to closed.
Okay, item A, we're gonna move to closed.
Right. And then item B, since, because we're still under COVID and some restrictions and so on, we had discussed with you all about not having a Christmas party again this year, but instead of that, doing the Employee Appreciation Day as we did last year, that was very successful. So we have it scheduled for November 18th, which is a week from tomorrow. And we'd like to extend an invitation. We've set an agenda. Sharon has filed an agenda in case there's 3 board members that would like to attend and address the employees. We will start at 10 o'clock on the 18th. Our supervisors will be putting the meal together, and then we give out the awards that we give out and so on, the raffles that we have for the employees. But that'll be our Employee Appreciation Day.
That's a Saturday?
It's a Thursday,
Thursday.
yes.
At what time is it gonna be?
It'll start at 10 o'clock, if you all want to come in and address the employees, I would welcome that, and we would probably do that around 11:30, right before lunch, Lisa?
Right before lunch.
Yeah, so you don't have to be here right at 10, but you want to get here, say 11:30, and address the employees and have lunch with us. Pete and Robert are heading the cooking.
I'm just kidding.
The cooking. And so you all are invited. And like I said, we have posted it at the clerk's office, just in case there's 3 or more members present, board members.
All right.
And then on that same day, we will be handing out the employee turkeys and the board turkeys. So those of you that attend can get your turkey, pick up your turkey, and those that can't attend will deliver it.
Very good. Excellent. All right, Senor, ¿qué más?
That's all I have. Anybody else have any questions on anything?